Quicksilver Amulet, drop in a Razaketh. Never seen that before, didn't know they were doing that.
Today on Commander Replay, we ask the question, is Rakdos Lord of Riots still good in EDH? Find out next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back everyone, playing some Rakdos Lord of Riots today, and today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Ginger Snaps. I've gone ahead and kept an opening hand that looks like this: 3 lands, Expedition Map, and Magus of the Wheel, plus a little card draw, and Razaketh up here at the top end. Yeah, I've not been having the best go with this deck. It's been pretty... oh god, this is what we're looking at? Should probably scoop this game right now. Nothing good's coming out of this game. Yeah, not been having a great go with Rakdos here. It's kind of a tricky commander. You know, it was good 8 years ago, and it's just... you need so many things to happen in the right order, and you need to not be disrupted by removal when any of them happen. It's actually pretty rough. It's like pretty rough going trying to get all that stuff lined up. There's a swamp. Play the swamp. Play the expedition map. Take a peek at the list, see if there's interesting lands we can go get. There is an Ancient Tomb. I might get an Ancient Tomb. Ancient Tomb this early does just lead to death quite often, but we do need ramp. Probably, I mean, it's probably got to be Coffers or Urborg. Problem is, we'll still only have one. Oh, I guess this thing's a tutor, right? Yeah, okay, this could get us to the other one. That is notable. I might go for the card draw first, then, that being the case. I'm not convinced that this is powerful enough for this deck. Typically, I run Ambition's Cost and Ancient Craving over this type of effect. If you're in, like, a very fast, low-to-the-ground setting, Night's Whisper makes more sense. It makes more sense if you're playing a combo deck and, like, you know, you're running, like, 8 tutors, because ripping a tutor off the top then gets you to the win. If you're just trying to play, like, aggro, I'm not convinced that this thing is strong enough. Sign in Blood is okay in the sense that it doubles as life lost to get Rakdos into play, which can be useful. This one doesn't do that, though. Opponent starts with a Field of the Dead. Myriad Landscape. Quicksilver Amulet for us. Oh, that's interesting. That, I think, puts me on the Ancient Tomb plan. Let's get this Blighted Pathway in. I guess we go red? Well, we have the chance to wait and see, so we'll see if, like, if someone drops down an Urborg. I guess it would just be the Negan that would do that. But if Negan drops down an Urborg, then going for Coffers makes sense. If not, I think going for this Quicksilver Amulet is going to be a real good idea. Opponent has a Mana Vault. The fact that Razaketh does require a sacrifice, you know, I know why it's in here. It's a really powerful card, but, you know, are there enough bodies to sacrifice on the average with this deck? That is a question. And sure, sacrificing one thing, you know, you only need one to sacrifice, and if it's like, you know, a Conquistador or something like that, one of those each opponent loses 1 life kind of things, sure, all day. But I wonder. I mean, I guess you probably still just got to run it, right? Wild growth for opponent. I'm surprised they don't have 800 mana dorks already. Negan is going to be rather disgusting, actually. That's not going to be a picnic for us to get through. Cracks the landscape. Yep. We'll crack the expedition map while that's happening. Get the Ancient Tomb. They get 2 swamps. There's another swamp for us. Play the Ancient Tomb. Play the Quicksilver Amulet. What is nice is that, you know, the stronger Edric decks are known for running a crap ton of counterspells, and this gets you through a counterspell. I don't know exactly how strong this table is. This is an open game of Magic Online, by the way. So we see a Chandra Fire of Kaladesh coming in. I assume this is just like red burn deck. Maybe Chandra Tribal. It's one that I've seen with that in the past. They got themselves a Wayfarer's Bauble card that I don't particularly care for. Feywild Visitor. Commander creatures you own have, whenever 1 or more non-token creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, make a 1/1 blue fairy. Oh, God. You can do some really fun things with Quicksilver Amulet. It's not a card that shows up all the time anymore. It's got to be in the right deck, but like I said, you can get around counterspells, you can get around like certain cast triggers, end-stepping certain things. End-stepping big powerful stuff is highly impactful. There's a lot of crazy stuff you can do with it. It's been in and out of my Angel deck for a long time, and like Instant Speed Karmic Guide is crazy. Like, you can do insane stuff with Instant Speed Karmic Guide. I think once I went Instant Speed Karmic Guide for an Angel of Serenity, which stopped the Butcher of Malakir from slaughtering all of my stuff. It was incredible. One time oh yeah, someone played a board wipe, and so then one time I end-stepped Rhea to get back Gisela, hardcast Aurelia, and just went to town. And also, too, it's going to mess up the timing of the Negan a little bit. It's going to allow us to, like, make sure we can get value. You know, at least we can get at least one tutor with Razaketh, that'd be a very good thing for us. Another land is not really what I was looking for, but it is a filter. So I think I am going to play that. Yeah, now we just pass and sit on Quicksilver Amulet and step the Razaketh in. Maybe try to get Rakdos next turn, Magus, all that stuff. Seems like the place to be. Take a peek at the deck list real quick while opponents are doing stuff. So, yeah, we see all the legendary Eldrazi up here. A very classic way to play this kind of deck. I've made a number of changes to the deck because this is game number 4. It hasn't been performing super well. It's been against some solid opponents. There's been a lot of misplayed removal in those 4 games, and if you misplay removal in today's day and age, you lose the game really quickly. So there's been some of that for sure. But I've added Earthquake and Fault Line because these are both board wipes and double as damage for Rakdos, which either allows you to get Rakdos in and or cost reduce all of your big dumb creatures. So I think those are going to be really good pickups. I've added Thran Dynamo. This gives you some ability to hardcast your stuff late in the game, or even through the mid game, right? Like even some of these 6 and 7 drops. I would definitely add a Thran Dynamo to this deck. I've added a Mana Geyser also for the same reason, because when things go wrong for this deck, when Rakdos gets shot, like, stuff gets bad. You can't do anything, and these will give you some hope to be able to do stuff. Quicksilver Amulet playing a similar role, Sneak Attack playing a similar role. It's, it's good for the big Alpha Strike, but it's not great for, like, sustaining a board necessarily. I've added a Moonlight Bargain instead of Necropotence because my history with Necropotence is Necropotence gets me killed more than it wins me games. In game number 3, which you guys probably won't see, got killed by a Tainted Remedy combo on like turn 6. Necroed for like 15 because I had no max hand size. And then the opponent made us discard half our cards, and then everyone just ganged up on us and killed us, right? So my stance on Necro is that if you are not playing a combo deck, you shouldn't be playing Necropotence because you basically need... If you're just trying to, like, attacking and casting creatures takes time, mana, and effort. If you're just playing a 2-card combo that wins the game, Necropotence makes sense for that. Because once you Necro for 15, just, like, everyone's going to fire everything they have at you. And so if you're not, like, quickly and easily winning the game, you just get dismantled. So Necro, in my opinion, is really bad for fair decks. It is really good for combo decks and unfair decks. So we see Jaya Fiery Negotiator coming in. Ooh, 4 ability Planeswalker. Can make a 1/1, exile top 2. You may play that card this turn, choose one of them. Choose target creature and opponent controls. Whenever you attack this turn, it deals damage equal to the number of attacking creatures to that creature. And an emblem, whenever you cast a red instant or sorcery, copy it twice. Ooh. Yeah, keep it off the ultimate. Here comes Edric. Yep, Bitter Blossom for opponent. The 2 blue open mana over here doesn't make me thrilled. If opponent went Negan and they went Counterspell, that would be fantastic for us. Life Insurance, Extort. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you lose 1 life and create a treasure token. Ugh, don't like that. Cracks a land. This opponent will be getting 2 treasures every time a creature dies. Probably going to be into board wipe tribal pretty soon here. A spicier play that we could do is go End Step Magus. And then we'd have instant speed Magus plus Quicksilver Amulet. That's interesting, actually, because I feel like if we cast Razaketh, we're just going to get tied up with a lot of removal. Yeah, maybe it's still worth it, though. I guess let's stay on the plan that we were on. I guess that makes the most sense. Quicksilver Amulet, drop in a Razaketh. Pass the turn, hope opponent doesn't have any bounce over here. There's a Volakut Awakening. Play a land. Swing into the Negan since they're tapped out. We do have trample. Edric trigger, we get to draw once. That's cool. Definitely like that. Usability. Conquistador. Do we just get crushed with... we just gotta try Rakdos. Hope it sticks. Crap, there was no way to make those lands work out better. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess that is what it is. Hope everything survives the turn. Yeah, there's a lot of hoping everything survives the turn with this deck. It's kind of rough. Memory Jar is a magic card. Prowess. Funny story with Memory Jar, if we do have mana up with Quicksilver Amulet, we can theoretically drop something in off the Memory Jar instead of just having to discard it, like usually happens. Gonna do 2 damage to a player or planeswalker. Gonna shoot the Edric. Personally, I probably would have shot their commander, based on how that commander works, but too many bad experiences with this thing in the past. You can have some... Is this a CEDH deck? I don't know. I don't know if it's like truly at the top tiers of CEDH, but it's not far away. Just all the mana dorks, all the counter spells, and ugh, gross. Bad experiences with that. Sending a 1/1 over to the Chandra player, yep. They'll get to draw a card and make a thing. Jace's Phantasm. Here come the 1-drops. Opponent makes a 1/1. Crackling Doom, no. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power. That's going to be the Razaketh. Okay. I mean, do we just give up the Razaketh? Because we can't sacrifice it to itself. So that's the thing. Because if we sacrifice the Rakdos, we still have to sacrifice, we would get tutor for a card, which is cool. On the other hand, we're only at 7 mana, so we can't card cast an Artisan of Kozilek, because that's something I was considering. I think we just try to play this out. Opponent's only got, 2 mana left? 3, I guess. Well, they'll have some treasures with all this stuff. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. Opponent's thinking not. They're going to dispel that. Okay. Glad we didn't sacrifice anything. So they don't want to lose their commander. It was one of those aforementioned counter spells we talked about. Opponent was thinking about something and then decided not to. It's interesting. Opponent's going to poke one of the planeswalkers. That seems like a good idea. Here comes the follow-up. It's a Benelish Sleeper. What's this do? Kicked. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, each player sacrifices a creature. Disgusting. Who are we getting rid of? I think we... Yeah, this is tough. Yeah, maybe we give up the Razaketh. Because if we sacrifice the Rakdos, then we lose both, and that's not amazing. On the other hand, if we lose both and go for a living death... Well, it's too late now. Sacrifice the Razaketh. Down it goes. Opponent makes some treasures. Oblivion Sower. If we get a hidden, we can get that for free. That'll be nice. I think... Yeah, everyone else has flyers. Does this have trample? Yes, it does have trample. They do have a treasure over there. We'll just go over to the red player for a turn. They're the least likely to interact with us right here. Draw the thing. We get another land. That's a filter land that is actually reasonably helpful given our color situation. Okay, play the filter land. Cast the Oblivion Sower. We'll go for the Mardu deck here. Is that 2 lands? War Room? Yeah, love that. All lands. Get in that land ramp. Get the Magus. Actually, we can go do this. I don't think we're using the War Room this turn, so we'll just do that. Get the Conquistador. The Magus of the Wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can go Night's Whisper and still leave up the Quicksilver Amulet. Nope, didn't quite get there. Did not quite get there. There's a Coffers, though. So a little bit of value this turn. Well, that's the old chain reaction. Not thrilled to lose the Magus of the Wheel. I don't think we have a choice in the matter, though. Edric may have feelings, though. See if they're running more counterspells. Oh, opponent makes a ton of treasures. Don't love that. Don't love that. Yeah, I mean, we could have, reasonably foreseen a board wipe coming out of the mono-red deck that, is clearly a burn deck. Whoops. Cracks the Bauble. Doesn't look like it's going to be the Memory Jar turn, though. Unfortunate, since we left the mana up for... I guess we can still Volacode Awakening. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We can dump all these lands. Opponent's going to ping for 2. Yep. Edric coming back. Opponent taps out most of their mana for it, so we should have a free and clear go through counterspells, but a lot of treasures over here, which isn't great. Lend more elves. Rakdos, Patron of Chaos. What's this one do? That's crazy looking. You guys see that? Is that supposed to... Oh wow. That's kind of cool. Never seen that before. Didn't know they were doing that. It is a 6/6 with Flying Trample. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land, 2 non-token permanents. If they don't, you draw 2 cards. Yeah, that's fine. They can draw cards. It's pretty crazy looking. You're gonna target the Chandra player. Oh, while that's happening, we want to Volacode Awakening. This is a good card. This can get you ahead of some binds. So we got to get rid of this land, and this land. We have flooded. Keep the coffers. Any order. If that betrays is a magic card. Ooh, that's a sacrifice deck. Okay. If that betrays is not the worst thing that's ever happened here. Also, it doesn't matter that we cast it. Ooh, and the Urborg Coffers combo. So we'll have hard casting mana. Love that. Love that. And a Wheel of Misfortune. Ooh, that's interesting too. I don't necessarily want to give opponents cards because they are low on cards. So, yeah. Wheels are really dangerous these days. Especially like this late in the game. Earlier in the game, it's okay. But yeah, they can be pretty dangerous. Let's go... So we're gonna use this at whatever time it makes the most sense. We're then gonna get a Scroll Rack. Yeah, I don't know that we're on Rakdos this turn. Drop in the Coffers. Think we just pass like that. We can Scroll Rack and Everything else is necessary. Yeah, I don't know that if opponent does this, I might put these two back into the deck with the scroll rack, because I don't, yeah, like, opponents are low on cards. I don't really want to give them more cards. Edric can, I mean, Edric's been kind of messed up, and this is a control deck that's keeping them at bay, so yeah. Wheel of Misfortune feels a little dangerous. And in the one of the earlier games with Patreons, like, I did play the Wheel of Misfortune early. It was an interesting play, so I played it for 0, just so that opponents would take damage so I could cast Rakdos, which I did. But those extra 7 cards for an Oskier player is a real problem. There's a Pyromancer's Goggles, those are pretty good. Yep. On the other hand, if we, like, don't catch cool things, that could be a problem. This is a safety net in case things go wrong. Maybe we don't do the scroll rack thing that I talked about. This does look like it should be the memory jar turn, though. 2 damage to opponent. Next turn they're on ultimate with that thing. That's kind of gross. Does it say whenever opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent? Yep. So whenever the sacrifice effects start raining down, try to put this It That Betrays on the stack while all that happens. We've been trying to, like, stay open for this memory jar thing, and they haven't done it. I'm surprised, because 6 mana right there is decent. 7 with that. They were probably trying to get this out of their hand or get it in first so they could do the really big setup. But at some point it does get shot if you hold it too long, right? I've had that happen. We do gotta get some damage on these planeswalkers. Opponent's gonna send a dork our way. Yep, that is the thing that needs to happen here. 2 Edric triggers, 1 for the token, 1 for the card draw. Yeah, the other thing too is though, like, Wheel of Misfortune with us having the Urborg Cabal Coffers mana seems like it should be a pretty good place to be. Hypnotic Siren, bestowing. Why'd they bestow that? Very confused. Oh, you control enchanted creature. That's why. They're going to steal that Rakdos. No big deal. Love that. That's a cool card. Opponent just scoops to that. Okay, yeah. Didn't want to have their thing stolen. May have been like the last big play that they kind of had, but we're going to drop in this It That Betrays on the end step. And the wheel, we'll see about the wheel. Drop in the It That Betrays. Love that. The Planeswalkers are about to pop, so we're going to have to... That's a Mana Geyser. Oh, that's interesting. Play the Urborg. Yeah, I mean, I think we just go all out here, I think. Well, there's not a lot of things with haste in the deck, so that is actually a concern. So I think we do it this way. How do we... We need to put damage on the... Let's try our luck at one of these Planeswalkers. Annihilator 2. What do they want to sacrifice? Oh, probably the tokens. Seems like it would make the most sense, because we don't get those. Well, they sacrifice a Mana Vault. I'll take more mana. And what, a Bauble? They leave a blocker. Yeah, we get a Mana Vault, more mana. We're going to have so much mana this turn. They block. Play the Mana Geyser. Actually, use the coffers first. 8 black mana. Let's make double red. Cast the Mana Geyser. 12 red mana. Wheel of Misfortune. Probably have to go for a pretty big number right here. I'm going to call 8. We need the cards. And so does everyone else. So... Oh no, we lost the lands that we got from opponent with the, Eldrazi, the... Whatchamacallem? Oblivion Sower. We take the damage, yeah, because we went pretty hard there. Pretty hard. The question is, how do we now deal with the Planeswalkers? Copying the spell twice seems bad. I think we get our commander. Oh, opponents haven't taken any damage yet. No, we can't even cast it. So then we scroll rack. We're going to have to put a bunch of stuff back. Rakdos Charm is helpful if we do want Rakdos. Maybe we keep that one. Put the 2 lands. I don't think Sneak Attack's helping us much right now. Mixed feelings on Greed. Maybe we put Greed on top? Yeah, let's put Greed on top. You know, none of this really stops stuff that I was hoping to stop here. Leave Greed on top. Yeah, this really isn't the best. You'd be dealing with some ultimated Planeswalkers. Yeah, get the Fragment. Oh, it comes in tapped? Rough. Spear Skewer. Thought Vessel. Shieldred. Leave up Rakdos Charm, Bolt's Trickery, Quicksilver Amulet, Emblem, yep. Price of Progress, copied a million times. Love that. I mean, yeah, you know, it's not going to do anything, but Fiery Emancipation, even better. Oh wow, they're running all basics too, because they probably know they're going to kill with Price of Progress, right? We die. Other opponents survive. Oh no, they're not going to survive that. Yep, turn 8. Oh, man. All right, so I think I got to close the book on this one. This is the 4th game I've attempted with it. I am not convinced about either Rakdos or maybe it's this deck list, right? So I don't think Eldrazi are the place to be anymore. Like, so here's what you're contending with. You're contending with the fact that this has been the most popular Rakdos commander for like a decade, or at least it was for, most of that time. And everyone has seen this deck at least once, if not more than that. And so, like, they know to shoot Rakdos because they know what's waiting up here. And when you shoot Rakdos, like, this deck is hard to operate. And you're prone to drawing really badly, I've noticed. Like, you need this perfect blend of big stuff, ramp, you need some of the damage dealers in your hand, like, and you just need this blend of cards all the time. It's like, it's hard to have that all the time, right? Just the way that luck kind of works is that you don't always have all the things you need. And it just takes so much to get going. And then even once you do the thing, like, because Rakdos comes down after combat, and then you drop all the big stuff, then, like, there's still a whole nother turn cycle where everyone can interact with everything. And it's just so slow and telegraphed that it's really not been working that well. And I've tried to make a few updates here and there that would help things out, Mana Geyser, Thran Dynamo, and some burn spells and stuff. And yeah, like, it just, this deck has the problem of being really good, like, between 5 and 8 years ago. And now that things have sped up, gotten so much more efficient, this deck doesn't handle efficiency very well. Right? Like, if you do all this setup to get one big Eldrazi and then they hit it with a swords or a path, doesn't feel great. Now, if you're if you're ever so lucky, you might get like 2 of them, and that's much harder to deal with. But I've been surprised about how much I'm struggling with this deck. And, I don't think the list is particularly bad. Like, it's a lot of stuff that, a lot of effects that I would run, the early damagers and stuff like that. But in practice, it just, like, it's so easy to disrupt. And maybe the answer also is not doing Eldrazi, right? Maybe it might be a conceptual problem, is kind of what I'm thinking, is that Eldrazi are just so big and so difficult to cast. And maybe you don't do all of them, right? Like, pick your favorite one. Like, if it were me personally. Like, if you run, like, 2 Eldrazi, I think that might be much better. And then you have a bunch of, like, powerful 6 and 7 drops that you can kind of cough out. That's going to be a much more consistent deck, I think. And, maybe you make it more of, like, just kind of a straightforward aggro deck. But yeah, trying to, like, cough in the Eldrazi just hasn't worked out well at all in 4 games. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's been a very surprising 4 games. I really thought they would go much better than they have. So, and again, I don't really know how to fix the issues with this deck other than, sure, shift out of Eldrazi into, some more 6 and 7 drops that are just be, like, much more consistent to cast and things that you could, like, reasonably hard cast. But there's still the issue of, like, just trying to set Rakdos up. It takes a lot of effort. And it's so easy to disrupt. I don't really know how to fix that. A pair of Lightning Greaves would help a little bit, but it's still very slow and very telegraphed. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.